I'm fascinated by how the books and the people involved in this new Wild West just are understanding human psychology. And we talked about the loneliness. I did this story. It kind of blew up into this whole controversy that had nothing to do with this, but the Cavender twins were or are these basketball players that became very popular in college basketball and through NIL, and they were attractive and blonde. So that was part of the story and it became a whole thing. But I wasn't as interested perhaps in the elements of the story that blew up when they got mad at me in the aftermath. It was this company Better that they were involved with, which I think was backed by Jake Paul. And they had this guy named Derek who was this performative mush. He was this scrawny guy, and all of their comedy sketches were Derek losing, and oh my God, Derek loses again. And he's like, oh my God, I lost again. And it's this really broad comedy of this intentionally dorky guy who then loses. And then they had these videos they were putting all out on TikTok and everywhere else of him hanging with the Cavender twins, and he loses and they win on a Miami game, and they're mocking him and laughing at him. And I swear to God, I do think the whole intent of this was this guy's a loser. This guy lost, but he's hanging with these attractive blonde twins. He's losing, but there's also something good happening. They're kind of embarrassing him, but he's with them. I don't know if that's an effective strategy, but it was just this crazy look at what's going on here and how they're trying different things to try to get the young male consumer. And I mean, I don't even know what's involved in the research they do or how intuitive it all is, but there is a whole game being played to get into the minds of young men, to get the dollars out of them, that I don't think is being covered enough as it's happening.
Completely agree. To piggyback off that, my two biggest frustrations of the industry are, one, the advertising, and two, the touts. Nobody bothers me more than touts, but I've kind of accepted recently that if you're getting betting advice or financial advice from a guy who's taking a stack of cash, putting it to his ear, having two models pose with him in a yellow Ferrari in the street of Miami, and you think that his POY, play of the year, has any chance of being like, plus EV, even a little bit, or any chance of being a good bet, or having sustained success, I think it's on the consumer at that point. But if it's a 17-year-old or someone's brain who's not as developed, and this guy looks cool, he's on a yacht with models, he's got a nice car, he posts the watches, he posts the cash. There's so many of these Vegas Dave type guys who's like the OG scammer of the tout industry. And he's the one he's went viral sitting courtside at Lakers games with those expensive purses. And I think he had like 4 of them on the floor. I forgot what brand it is. It's like a $50,000 purse. He had them lined up next to his wife or girl or whatever. And, he's posting his tickets, and he sells some sort of like NFL package. And here are my 10 bets for the week. And I think that part of the industry is the most pathetic, because these guys have obviously no chance of winning. They have no edge. They're selling you on the dream. They're selling young kids on the dream. It's almost like this Dan Bilzerian type guy of sports betting. And there's a ton of them, and they make so much money. And you'd be shocked on how many people sign up. You'd be shocked on who the people are who are signing up, who think they could win. I don't understand it. But that marketing game of these handicappers, whatever you want to call them, I've talked to someone who represents them, and he said to me, word for word, record, like, we can't post the record. There is no record. If they go 2-8 on their Tuesday night lock of the year slate, the Wednesday morning will show a 2-0 record on the MLB plays and just ignore the 0-8 of the other stuff. They're betting with no edge. It's an entire marketing game. They're yelling at the screen in front of the casino. Those are the people who get me the most, and they make a ton of money.
Well, I didn't know they made a ton of money. I would say maybe I'm in the wrong business, but I don't want everything that comes with all that. We had Warren Sharp on, and some of my audience was, I think, annoyed because he charges money for picks or for information, and I suppose that would make him a tout. He also has very interesting deep dives on data, but would I pay or advise my customers to pay for picks from anybody? I don't care how good your information is. If you're paying for it, the edge just basically dissipates. I mean, it's non-existent anyway for reasons we've gotten into, but nobody's information is so good that you should be paying for it for the purpose of making picks.
There are a few people out there and groups that do have public information, but it's a race to, or you could pay for it and it will win. But you need a bunch of different sports books to bet on. You need a decent sized bankroll to bet responsibly. There are a few good guys, I'd say under 10. But the logistics of it is it's usually comes with a release. So, at halftime of a game, they'll say second half play coming soon. And in 3 minutes, it'll be on like Substack or Telegram or one of these Discords. And then there's a race to get down at the number that they give. But again, Ethan, getting the proper number is the name of the game. It's not about the team. It's about the number. So if they say under 27.5 on this second half NFL total, and everyone bets it at the same time, including market movers or highly influential bettors who folks respect and are going to move the line off of, you might have 25, what you're looking at. And if the guy who's winning at 7% ROI gives you 27.5, 25 is it's not going to react that much, but even 26.5 is most definitely not the bet, So even the ones who do win publicly, it's very, very difficult to follow. And that part of the industry is way different than the kid on the boat with the cash stack on his
or Taylor Mathis. Are you aware of who Taylor Mathis is?
No, but I do know Warren Sharp. It's a good pod.
Taylor Mathis, again, you said I would be surprised by some of the money that these touts make. I would be shocked. And her thing is she's an attractive woman, and she does these walking and talking selfie video.
I know who that is.
These bouncy videos. These bouncy videos, I will say, and you can understand what I'm saying. I just looked up her Twitter feed right now. She is eating a Sonoran dog for MNF Chargers versus Cardinals, basically putting a hot dog in her mouth as part of this hook for you to start looking at these picks. And I'm going, who are these people who are watching this and going, well, whose gambling advice I really trust? It's this attractive woman who is effectively burying the picks in her cleavage. She's really got my interest at heart right now, and she's given me the cutting edge information that is going to make me money. Some element of this is sad. Some element of this is unfair. Some element of this is preying on men, the range of things we're talking about. But then there is this other element where it will be hard to get people sympathetic to being separated from your money for something like that. Is it possible that this is even successful? That's absurd to me. It's crazy to me somebody would make a pick this way.
So even if they're not making the exact picks that she's giving out, she probably has some sort of sportsbook referral. So that her virality is going to make her money regardless, because she's going to send her followers to, I don't know, whatever sportsbook she's affiliated with, and then get money that way. So it's maybe not even always for, betting advice, and just more as, like you said, building the community. Let me see what she's on. And she's getting followers by, posting stuff, but then the real money is coming from other ways. And maybe she gets a kickback of the client's losses. She gets a percentage of each sign up or each first deposit. In that way, there's a ton of ways for her to make money besides maybe selling advice.
Okay, so I'm reading the bio. Sports betting content slash betting analyst for DraftKings and DK Sportsbook. Iowa alum, host of the First
Right.
Base Pod, journalist she's listed as. I love the idea of her in the room as this betting analyst for DraftKings, really helping them build the quant
Right.
models.
As if also, if she was a quant modeler and she did have really good stuff, as if they would be the ones to give it out to the public. And the funniest,
she's like Robin Hood,
right. Any information that comes from FanDuel DraftKings, why would they give you any data that's going to help you, right? So people are like, oh, the majority of the public are here, or there's 77% of the money is on this game, but 40% of on this team, but 40% of the bets are on it. And so people think that this information is valuable, which it absolutely has nothing to do with anything. It would be valuable if you knew the profile of the customer betting and you would know the exact amounts at each line. So let's say there's a bunch of money or there's a small amount of money at 3.5, or let's say the Knicks at 5.5 tonight, and then it moves to 4.5, and then the sportsbook posts, 80% of the money is on the Knicks. Well, actually, like 1/100th of the money is on the Knicks at the proper number, which is 5.5, and then all the money is on the Knicks at 4.5. That's not the current line, by the way. But why would the sportsbook help you make an educated bet? Like they're not going to do that. So this data that they release is nonsense in the first place, and that's obviously frustrating because I get a lot of like, I think I'm going to fade the public, or all the money is here. It would be profit. Like I want the book side. It's like you will never know what the book side is, and even if you did, that book is not taking sharp action in the first place. So it's all recreational stuff going in at a pretty efficient number in the first place.